afternoon, everybody. What's going on? It's been a little bit. I didn't do a video yesterday. I apologize to some, but that's right. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. Just chilling here. Feeling okay. I just really can't seem to shake my cold, but I'm taking antibiotics. I feel fine. It's just kind of still there. But yeah, I'm doing good. It's kind of a dreary day. After today, it's not raining here, but it poured down yesterday. It was kind of I needed a day. I was going to do something. I'm like, do I really want to? I mean, what am I going to talk about? It's just like, but we do have stuff to talk about. But after today, the sun will be out for an extended period of time. I'm cool with that. I love the sun. I can't stand day after day dreariness. It's kind of depressing, especially under the circumstances. But we're here. We're good. I see we got a nice amount of people in here. Let me roll through you guys and gals real quick. Lord Nova, Isaac Ramirez, So Over It, Logan Motorsports, Chris May, what's up, my man? Brad Harris, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Loyal Cowboy, are you back from Arizona, Loyal? I was going to send you a link for this live, just to kind of maybe chit-chat, but I can still do that if you want, if you're home, but if you're not, that's fine. Alina, let me get through the names first. Alina, how are you? Crystal Caramel Corn, I am going to be Devil Dog. What's up, Devil Dog 71? What's up, my man? Mike Aldana's in the house. Matt Batten, I'm doing okay, Matt. How you doing? Okay, he'll be back Saturday. All right, Loyal. Sounds good. I am going to be streaming the game tonight, most likely with Mark Holmes. Mark has been pretty much every Thursday reaching out to me about doing the game. It's kind of like ugly, those Thursday night games. But we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, and, we could talk about a lot, especially the upcoming playoffs. We've known that we've been in the playoffs for 2 weeks now, but we have a lot to talk about, and I'm in no rush, so I'll be here as long as, we're going to get through it, and if you guys have something you want to talk about, just say it, and we will talk. But Matt Batten, bad week this week for me. I hope you're doing good today. Matt, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Lady Lieber, welcome, Lady Lieber. How are you? Yeah, as you guys know, we're because of the holidays and people flying in. I'm not trying to make anybody depressed, but hey, Ruben Walls, my father-in-law's funeral. We finally nailed everything down. Believe it or not, you can't find flowers like around here. I mean, I live in a rural area, but there's still. I'm not far. I'm like 10 minutes from towns. I'm 10 minutes from, a lot of stuff. But between Christmas and New Year's, a lot of flower shops, believe it or not, shut down. So, and my father-in-law's being buried at a military cemetery, which is like, I would say 20 minutes away from the funeral home, yada, yada. So just button up everything. Sorry, Elena. Oh, Elena, what's up, sweetie? Jamie Flores, don't think running backs of the Lions will give a problem. Yeah, we're going to get into that, Jamie. Thanks for kind words. Support means a lot to me. Matt, man, I know what you're feeling, man. I think what gets me through it has just been, just being able to know that I've been through it before. This is my father-in-law, still be a part of the family. Just a lot of extenuating circumstances with his wife who didn't get to see him, is still in the hospital. She's doing better, but she suffered a mild stroke, and there's a lot of complications, and how we getting her to the viewing, and I just can't wait till it's all over. We're going to do it the right way, though. What's up, EJB? We're going to do it the right way, and we're going to lay him to rest the right way, how he wanted. It's going to be the whole military thing, dropped off his Marine uniform. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit dramatic, but you know how those things can go. But enough with the sadness. We're looking on to the Cowboys versus the Detroit Lions in the Ring of Honor game. Thanks, Chris May, brother. I really try not to bring this stuff up, but I'm an open book at this point. It's like, I can't not tell you guys what I'm going through, or else I'd be lying, you know. So, and I got my dog. My dog, she's a sweetheart. Like we adopted her a few years ago. I really wasn't in the market for another dog, but my little Chihuahua is behind me on the seat. She's attached to her mother, but when her mother's not here, I'm number two. Yesterday, she wouldn't leave me. That's why I was just kind of chilling, watching movies. Thanks, my man, Matt. So she's behind me. That's why I'm all the way up here. I'm like, I hope I'm not too scrunched. But where do we want to start? Eagles did get the win last week, and shout out to the Eagles. Just living here and hearing everything. Let me see if I get the other camera going. Okay, yeah, you guys can see it a little bit. Living here and hearing everything, they're not happy. It's just, it's crazy to me. I'm happy to be in the playoffs. What did I tell everybody before the season? Yeah, do we want the 1 seed? Of course. Do we want to win a division? Of course. It all comes down to how healthy are you? And how are you playing going in? I didn't think we played that bad in Miami. Okay? And that gets credited for the fumble to Lepke. Lepke didn't have his bottom hand. This hand that's supposed to take the football, there was no bottom hand. So I don't know what Hunter Lepke was doing. I've been crying for Hunter Lepke. Hunter Lepke had multiple times in the game where he got short yardage situations. So I think the answer is not to shy away from it. It's just to work on it and practice more, right? I think work on it and practice. Yeah, Matt Batten, I'm going to try and do something every day, buddy. What's up, David? How are you, my man? So that was all on Hunter Lepke, but how they score things in the NFL, which I'm not a player, I could say it. It's friggin' dumb, okay? It's dumb. So I don't know what you think, but he handed it off. He put it where it's supposed to be. He didn't have this hand under the ball or, whatever. It fell right out. So over it, I thought we did fine. I really did. It's one of those games, and I don't know if it was Elena or somebody said, oh, I think it might have been Elena. Say, well, you guys are okay with the loss. It's not that. It's, if you look at the AFC standings, Miami is right there for the number 1 overall. Miami's running game is no joke. Now, he was a limited Tyreek, but it was a Tyreek nonetheless. We did knock Waddle out of the game. But we really didn't get killed. We kind of beat ourselves, which is disappointing at week 16 in the NFL season that we're doing that. Rookie mistake, Michael Dana. Rookie mistake. Mark Holmes, Law Nation, helped me through it. Yeah, Law Nation's great, man. He is. Linda Connors, if I'm an Eagles fan, why do I care if Dallas is one and done? Well, you know how it works, Linda. They all... not everybody, because clearly you don't care. But what's up, D Daddy? Show us your feet. Dude, that's just weird. I'm wearing sneakers. You know what I'm wearing? I'm wearing UGG. Here, I'll show you what I'm wearing. I got a dog sitting behind me. I'm wearing the UGG slippers, so don't talk too much about me. But yeah. He is awesome. Law has actually turned in. He's no longer just a YouTuber. He's really turned into a media mogul, so to speak, with his connections. He has connections that I don't have. He has connections that Mark doesn't have. I mean, he's over 100,000 subscribers. I just went over the 1,000 mark. So, but we could still. What's interesting and great about YouTube is everybody has an opinion, right? And it's just if you like the person that's talking or you think it's entertaining or worth your while, that's all. That's what it's about. Brad, didn't Tyreek have close to 100 yards, which is around his normal? He did, but he didn't kill us with that big play. There was opportunity, by the way, but stay right there. Don't move. I'm almost, yeah. Oh, God. Keep an eye on D Daddy. We don't know him, so keep an eye on him, Brad. All right, I'm gonna I am going to just run down a few things here. Okay, just a few injuries. It's an open forum, but I do want to touch on a few things. Okay, Tyron Smith. Okay, knowing what we just said. Okay, as much as I want to win this Detroit game. My dog, are you licking? What are you doing down there? Yeah, okay. She's licking herself. I'm like, is she flipping around? Am I squeezing her? Tyron Smith is 50-50 to play, as well as Hankins is 50-50 to play. I could tell you right now, Hankins will not play. I say that because he has a high ankle sprain. High ankle sprain, high ankle sprain on me, 195-pound guy, or high ankle sprain on a 330-pound guy. Don't expect Hankins to play. Tyron Smith, it's a back. I think he didn't get an epidural, but he got something, one of those shots. Maybe it was an epidural. I don't know. Probably was an epidural of some sorts because that's where they put it in the spine. I've had a few of them myself. 50-50 to play. I don't know if he's going to play. Yeah, that's David. I'm with you. Let's save Hankins for the playoffs. And don't get me wrong. If we can't win this game without Dave, save both of them in the playoffs. Yeah, I know what you meant, Loyal. Yeah, definitely. We need to save them. Eagles, Lions, 49ers are great teams. Let's be ready, Dallas Cowboys, for a fight. Yeah, Matt. If we bring our A game, we're going to give everybody a handful. Gilmore, he hurt a rib. I don't know to what extent the rib was hurt. He's good to go. Probably a cracked rib. You saw him go out. You don't either that or a rib cartilage. If anybody, I've had both. I've had cracked ribs and a rib cartilage, and I think the rib cartilage is worse than the actual cracked rib. That's just me. I got hit by a 93 mile an hour fastball in the side. I went like that, and it took it right in the rib. And it kind of cracked the rib, but then it also did some cartilage damage. It takes a while to heal. Interesting news yesterday. Rashaan Evans was released. Don't expect him when he clears waivers. Don't expect the Cowboys to bring him back. I don't see that happening whatsoever. Remember from last NFC Super Friends. Yep. So they waived Rashaan Evans and signed Matt Waletzko to the active roster. Remember Matt Waletzko last year hurt the one shoulder, dislocated it. This year, dislocated the other shoulder. He's a big, tall guy, but he's not real heavy. He's not like he's a big, I'm not going to say fat, but not a big-bodied guy. He's just tall and muscular. So, his shoulders, when he's blocking for whatever, I don't know if he's not cut out for it or what do you think about the linebacker position thinning? Yeah, that's what I'm about to get into. Waletzko was not the type of guy who, they needed him to come in here in case there's an injury to Tyron yet again. Because I got news for you. Edoga is not the answer. Why we're playing him at left tackle, me and my partner, Primetime Phil, he says the same thing. He's played the game. It is, Elena, it's a game of attrition, survival of the fittest. It absolutely is, but they want Matt Waletzko to be able to step in if Tyron gets hurt in the playoffs. We have a few weeks to get him up and going. Maybe that tells me Tyron's going to play on Sunday. Darren Woods is a finalist. Yeah, he's getting in this time, Loyal. So that's an interesting thing. We shouldn't be letting any linebackers go, okay? We have no business letting any linebackers go. We are thin. But here's the deal, and let me tell you why. Damone Clark is not playing well. Damone Clark, okay, he was playing 92% of the snaps. Last game he played 67% of the snaps as opposed to 92. I'm trying, Matt. Marquise Bell, prior to the Miami game, was in playing linebacker. You know, Marquise is what, 230? He's not, if that. I doubt it. He's probably 220. If that. He was playing 75% of the snaps. He dropped down to 46% of the snaps from the linebacker position. That's from Buffalo to Miami. Damone Clark is just not seeing the right hole. He's hitting the wrong hole. What they're doing, they're going back to what they did last year. And Donovan Wilson is playing where he should be playing. He is more physical and can play that in the box safety. That's where he's best anyway. Donovan isn't a good in coverage. Philly D, what's up, my man? There he is. Hope you're fully you've recovered from COVID. Sometimes it takes a while, dude. But so yeah, Donovan Wilson is going to slide in like he did last year, where he excelled. Donovan Wilson in coverage is a liability. So not that these other guys aren't going to play. Marquise Bell, Damone Clark. We're going to need everybody, all hands on deck. But it's going to be a situation where they're all, we're going to, because these young light safeties can't play down in and day out, but down in and down out. But Donovan Wilson, I mean, he made a Pro Bowl doing that last year, albeit as an alternate, and he got the big deal. So I'm fine with that too. You can't go out there now. Eagles are shitting on Shaq Leonard. I still think he would have fit better with us, but looking at the All-22 and looking at the Jacob Sports, they're lighting him up because he's hitting the wrong gap to stop the run. So what I thought he was going to be good at, early reports are Shaq Leonard is not doing a good job. So, yeah, exactly. Donovan Wilson can hit, and that's why they made this move. Rashaan Evans wasn't playing well on special teams. He was taking up a spot. So this allows you to bring up Matt Miletsko. This allows you to slide Donovan Wilson, get him on the field more. Where I don't know why it took so long. I guess they were trying not to do that. Very confused what's going on, because we left ourselves really thin coming out of training camp. We exposed some young linebackers that you picked up because we were relying on Leighton Vander Esch. And as much as I love Leighton, and he had a great year last year, this organization, I'm going to be negative a little bit here. I blame the organization. Okay, we rely on Tyron Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. Two guys. What's up, Michael? How are you, buddy? He was arrested for weed possession, but Stephen Brown, what's up, buddy? But that's not the reason why. That was just an by the way. Once Let's Go had to be moved one way or another. His 21-day practice window was opened up a couple weeks ago. This was the move to make. So I blame the front office for doing this to us. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going nowhere. I'm not trying to be negative in that respect, but we're ultra thin on the offensive line because, and they kind of threw, what's his name, our Will McClay under the bus, not knowing at the time. They said, they even showed you the video of Will McClay in the draft room saying, we've taken offensive linemen over, like the recent years. This time I want Mozzie Smith. We haven't had a defense rated at the 27th spot where we're picking in a while, a player like this. So they decided not to go with a young offensive lineman, So, and I'm getting ready to touch on Mozzie next. But yeah, so Rashaan Evans gone. Well, Let's Go is practicing, and I think they're gearing him up to be the backup at left tackle. If he shows that he can't do it, I think they're going to swing Tyler Smith to left tackle in a pinch, and you go with Bass out of Oregon. So that's the only thing I could think of, because what Edoga was doing last game, just totally missing assignments. He wasn't getting beat. He was just missing assignments. He was double teaming a guy on the inside and letting the outside rusher have a free run at Dak. And then everybody wonders why Dak's not hitting an open receiver. Well, because he knows, he sees that Chuma Edoga is just blowing assignments left and right. It's absolutely ridiculous. But now, my last negative thing for today is Mozzie Smith. Watching Brian Broaddus, I was shocked to hear this. Again, you know what I just said about Will McClay. Will McClay had said that they hadn't seen a defensive tackle rated this high on their board available in the 20s, basically, which is why they went with Mozzie. Mozzie Smith, when he was drafted, okay, when Mozzie Smith was drafted, he weighed 330 pounds. What's up, Troy Daniels? How are you, buddy? Mozzie Smith weighed 330 pounds, and he was a true space eater. He was like a trash can full of dirt. Excuse me. He was a true one technique, which is what they needed. Well, Brian Broaddus did some asking around, and do you know what Mozzie Smith weighs now? Rob A, what's up, buddy? Listen to this, Rob A. I'm not saying Mozzie ain't never coming back, but Mozzie Smith now weighs, this is from the coaching staff, 293 pounds. He went from 330 to 293. Why? It's absolutely inexcusable unless the coaching staff is doing something like they used to do with Tyrone Crawford. I don't believe that's the case, but that's a guess on my part. Broaddus doesn't know exactly. He's lost 40 pounds since the draft. What's up, Rob A? Sugar Daddy. That's too light to play the one technique. Okay? That's too light to play the one tech. That's a three tech. Okay? So, and maybe that's what they wanted, because they wanted him to play next to Hankins. But, so you can't have two one techniques play together. So I would be interested to know, is it something I'm hearing that, well, Mozzie's losing all this weight because of his training. He's not used to playing this many games. I find it hard to believe. So, yeah, Rob A, he needs to eat more of something. What made Mozzie special? Now, he's still strong. Now, if you're going to tell me that he's not an Aaron Donald, but that's where we're getting to as far as size is concerned. He's taller than Aaron Donald, but you get what I'm saying. For everybody to expect he's going to slide in and fill in for Hankins, no, he's Osa Odigizua is what he is. He's his backup at this point, playing at 290. So, but Mike Aldana, if they don't want him to play that, they haven't said nothing. They just said he's lost 40 pounds. So, now he has kept his strength, but sometimes it's just the weight. You can't hold against a double team if you're losing. Somebody's going to move you out of the way, which is what's going on. Not only is he not getting off the ball normal, like all the time, his problem is he's late getting off the ball at times. Now he's getting moved. So, Troy, if we think he's going to play one technique, yeah, you need to put on 30, 40 pounds, my man. So he'll be better next year than he is this year, obviously. It's just what I told the Eagle fans when it came to Jalen Carter. Now, Jalen Carter was my number one rated player, not defense. My number one rated player, even over the elevated quarterbacks last year in the draft. Mozzie is a second-round talent, drafted in the first round, at the bottom of the first round, like a Nolan Smith, where you're not seeing a lot from, and he'll be better going forward. But Michael Aldana, it's not good. Okay, so Mozzie, I believe in you going forward. If you got to put the work in. Now, it scared me when I heard that you don't love football. It did scare me, but he does love hurting people. So you're in the right business, but you got to kind of love it. Now, he loves working out, so we need to give Mozzie time. But Mozzie's not going to be the answer this year, okay? If we're talking this year, Mozzie's not the answer. Now, no disrespect to all the other teams that are going to be in the playoffs this year. Nobody this year, until you get to the Niners or the Super Bowl, which is looking like Ravens/Dolphins, and we just played the Dolphins to just about a draw on the road. This year is not scary. The Niners just got absolutely annihilated at home. So, so it's going to be interesting. Eagles have a shot. Dallas has a shot. Look, there's a lot of teams that have a shot this year. So this all goes back to my original, just get Tyron healthy. But with a bad back, you need to move. You need to play. Anybody that has a bad back knows that you have to move. You can't just be inactive. So I would play him in Tyron. But Hankins, your ass ain't playing until week 1 or your first game of the playoffs. That's it. Rob A, right now, that's the way it looks. But this year is real interesting. A team like Dallas, a team like Philly, I don't know that Philly could do it, Atlanta. I'm only saying that because of your defensive backfield is just not good. But even Philly, Dallas more so, in my opinion, has what it takes to get there. And we'll see what happens in that championship game. But they got to get through the Rams. Philly D, the Rams can beat everybody like when they're on their game, especially the Niners. So the Rams could go on the road and upset some people. I'm telling you, they can. Yeah, they don't care about choking the Kyle Shanahan, because that's what he does. He chokes in. You want to say Dallas chokes in the playoffs? Kyle Shanahan chokes in big games. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. So, exactly, Brad. No team is the clear-cut Super Bowl favorite any given Sunday or Saturday or Friday or Thursday or Monday. We get it. Everybody is on the Baltimore Raven bandwagon now, and they're playing great. But the good thing is you wouldn't have to play them until you got to the Super Bowl. So I thought it was interesting hearing about Mozzie Smith. When I heard it, my jaw was kind of open, and I'm like, wow, that's not good. Now, I think going forward, it's always good being big rather than fat, but we got to identify what position he's going to play. Maybe the coaches want him to play 3 technique. That's why he was lined up against Hankins. I don't know. You could have 2 big guys next to each other. I don't understand. But anyway, moving on. Carl Davis, remember I said Carl Davis, he's a veteran. He's like an 8 or 9 year veteran. The trash can full of dirt. He's not playing great. So, can't really rely on Carl Davis. So, it'll be interesting this week with the Detroit Lions, because Detroit has a similar running game to Miami, which we held in check. But the difference between Miami and Detroit is Miami's more of a perimeter running team. They like to hit the edges, and I think we are decent against that with our our fast secondary. David Montgomery will run right up the middle. He'll run right through you. So we have our work cut out for us this Saturday night against the Detroit Lions. They have, in my opinion, one of the best young wide receivers in the league, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We have our work cut out for us, but I still believe we're going to get the job done on Ring of Honor Day. We're inducting Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. We're 15-0 in our last 15 games. It was funny. We were just talking smack against the Eagles for losing 3 games in a row. And don't you know, we're staring at a 3-game losing streak post-Thanksgiving, where it's the most important time of the year. Now, again, that's why, Elena, I was saying, in my mind, losing to Miami the way we did wasn't – it sucked at the time, but I thought we were in position to win. Kind of like in Philly, when we were in a position to win the game and we didn't do it. Now, at some point, we got to do it, Troy. I think you could see Micah plug up the middle more this week. You can do it at times because Micah is being undisciplined when it comes to playing the edge. He's getting pressure. He leads the league in quarterback pressures. He's getting held constantly, which is going to get to my next issue. But yeah, he needs to play a little bit more linebacker and help stop the run because he keeps getting sucked inside. Now, this is a game where I think they're going to try and run the ball inside. Jahmyr Gibbs, Matt, is he will bounce it outside. But again, I think going back to what we talked about before, our offense is going to be our defense. And at home especially, I think we're going to put up points. It would be nice if Tyron played because Detroit has a good pass rush. So it'll be interesting. Rob A., your boy Mark Holmes be talking all that smack before the Miami game, and he focuses on the Eagles' issues. Dallas losing 2 in a row. Yeah, I was scared of the Miami game as well. I ain't going to lie to you. So, the difference is between me and Mark, I don't talk as much smack, but Mark has 66,000 subscribers. Maybe I should. I don't know. I just started, though, so, I think I'm doing well for just starting, so we're going to build from here. Mike Aldana, if you can't play inspiring with Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor, then, yeah, exactly. What the F are we doing? I agree. I definitely agree. But the Detroit Lions are 5th in passing and 3rd in rushing. You want to talk about an all-around good team, it's the Detroit Lions. But their one weakness is their offensive line. Now, their offensive line can be had. Their offensive line can be had. Absolutely, 100% positively. So I expect to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I just do. Well, we got a lot of packages?
Everyone got one today.
All right, well, except me, right? Everybody got a package but me. That's the way it usually works. But yeah, so, it's like we have our work cut out for us. In my opinion, this is our last real big test of the year. Now, if the Eagles lose to Arizona and we win, then next week we got to win, right? Because then we win a division. So, the interesting thing is we all have to play through next week. So, but yeah, Matt, Detroit, you can. Here, give it to me. There you go. My Christmas gift just arrived by one of my kids, so everybody can look and see. Here we go. Dallas trash can. I like it. So I did get something. There you go. My son's all excited. It's good when you have kids that are older that buy you stuff for Christmas and not just socks and underwear. So, but anyway, yeah, so Rob A. Loyal Cowboy. If it wasn't their defense being bad, it was 14 points scored off of Dallas and G4. Yeah. It is what it is. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, that's my kid for you. Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate it, buddy. Um, all right. Next order of business I want to get to is also I'm hearing that Dallas. Now this goes back to our first round pick of last year. Normally we are good with first round picks. I'm not trying to crap on Mozzie Smith, but we're playing the guy that was discussed to be taken at with the 20. I think we picked 27th in the draft. The scouting and the coaches really wanted, or now the coaches really McCarthy, Brian Schottenheimer, and like one of the scouts really were high on Sam Laporta. So much so that they were discussing him in the first round. Now, if we all know, if they would have taken Laporta in the first round, we would have been like, oh my God, we were seeing the mock drafts of him going in the third round and the fourth round. But looking at it now, Sam Laporta has 9 touchdown passes. 9. Is that 9? Yeah, 9 TDs. Sam Laporta is a hell of a tight end. And Sam Laporta and a Jake Ferguson would have been a duo. Since we're not getting much out of Mozzie as it is. So those are the things. Well, Loyal, I do have an Eagle trash can. Remember I used to throw up in it? There you go, buddy. There it is with my collector's edition postal teddy bear. So I thought that was interesting. Dallas was really high on Sam Laporta. What ended up happening is we ended up going with Mozzie Smith, and then we kind of reached, in my opinion, and went with Luke Schoonmaker, who we haven't seen much of. He didn't have a big a career in college. He had a good senior year, but Schoonmaker did not have a very long college career. So something to say, it's only been 1 year, so we're going to give them time, but looking back at it, that's how the draft can go. Troy Daniels, I think they are 1 or 2 good tight ends in the next year's draft we could get. Yeah, I agree. Rob A. Nolan Smith would have been good for Dallas to rush the QB. Yeah, Rob A. was one of those situations where he didn't fit in the scheme. Kind of like TJ Watt. TJ Watt. And yeah, we didn't draft TJ because we wanted Taco Charlton. So, again, thanks, man. Thanks, Logan. I appreciate it. But yeah, so, no, I was showing up when I was doing the chip challenge. This one here.
Oh man! Shout out to dry heaving. You're dry heaving. Ooh, take the milk, man. Take the milk.
Yeah, that's what that was. So yeah, but just kind of interesting that that we're in this crosswords. Rhonda, how's the weather in Texas? How is the weather in Texas? But yeah, so did you guys hear? Oh, this is my thing. Do you think, are you guys okay with Micah and his podcast? Because Micah has done it again. Micah Parsons has, and I love Micah. I'm not saying he shouldn't be allowed to do it. I'm just a little concerned about the in-season talking about other players. He basically called out Deebo Samuel. So, what's up, Nike 3? And Deebo basically responded and said, I don't think you want to see us again. Which, I don't want to see the Niners again, but I'm not playing the game. I'm just a fan. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, Rhonda? I did hear that it was chilly there. I just wanted to double check. What's up, Ruben? You all right, buddy? So I don't know what to think when, when Micah puts himself out there and I'm going to play this. I don't know how long I'm going to play it for, but I'm going to play this. I'll go back and forth, so don't leave me. I'll play this clip on Undisputed. Let me go over here first. And I'll play it, and we'll see, and we'll go from there.
Richard, I am assuming you loved the way Debo responded to Micah right out of the Richard Sherman playbook. The floor is yours.
Yes, I loved it, Skip, because to the winner go the spoils. You get to say whatever you want. And yes, Debo is right, Skip. It could have been worse because if they didn't sit their starters for the entire fourth, it could have got uglier. Probably 2 to 3 more touchdowns uglier. So it could have been 56 or 62 to 10. And you could have left Nicholas, John Bosa, Fred Warner, and Talanoa Hufanga in the game, and it could have got even uglier. But at this point, he's saying, just sit down and be quiet because y'all doing talking. Y'all were doing talking before the game. Did you hear the San Francisco 49ers before the game? Just another game. We're just going out here, another opponent, yada, yada, yada. Like, again, you talk about all the dogs y'all got, a lot of barking, not bite. No bite. I hear barking, but no bite. And so when you do a lot of barking, but you don't have bite, you got guys with real bite that'll come at you and say, hey, I'm calling you bluff. I'm calling you bluff because they're not intimidated by Micah Parsons. They're not scared of Micah Parsons. They've seen Micah Parsons over and over and over, and they're not intimidated. So you talk about, hey, you got all these bullies, we got all these dogs. The bully gets bullied sometimes, Skip. When you're the biggest, you're the baddest, and you pretend you're rah, 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 rah. Somebody hits you in the mouth for real, and they say, hey, now who you bullying? Oh, you're not really a bully anymore. Okay, well, go sit down over there.
Yeah, I mean, look, what else is Debo going to say? I mean, the truth
well, he could say nothing.
The truth is that.
So, it is what it up. I'm not a big Sherman fan, Brad, but this kind of puts like Loyal says, it kind of puts a target on her back. Does anybody know exactly what he said about Debo? Because I didn't get that far, but I was just curious. He's talking about Debo and the Niners. Listen, you can't argue Richard Sherman as a player. Micah is crying out. There's some inside politics going on. To him, it's inhumane. He has to express himself, so he won't lose it. But I don't see him playing with the Cowboys unless they address it. Rhonda, Micah has a lot going on. I think I was listening to Michael Irvin talk on the same podcast a little earlier. I didn't want to sit there and, just show a video too long. But basically, Micah told him, I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to win Super Bowls, and I'm going to do... So Micah wants to be on TV. Micah wants to be that guy. So it opens up more about Micah than I knew. Micah seemed like a very shy, not the most confident guy off the field. Now it seems like I know he was talking about Brock Purdy, but Elena, what exactly did he say? I don't know. He said something about Brock Purdy maybe not being that guy or not being the MVP, probably something along them lines. But I love Micah, but Micah has a contract coming up. Okay, everybody's running their mouth. $35 million. He ain't getting $35 million. He's not. Okay. Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones has him under control for a little longer. He ain't going nowhere. But that doesn't mean he's going to be happy either. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. That's for down the line. We could talk about it. But just wanted to get your opinion on, are you guys okay with him having... I am not okay with him having an in-season podcast to this extent. You can have it like a podcast, but when you start talking about officials, when you're talking about... like you start talking about other players, okay... Now, I don't know, but they're putting a target on Dak's back, too, because how teams are going to get back at Dallas is just hit Dak that much harder. Okay, talking about his play against the Ravens. Okay, that makes sense. Like he threw the 4 INTs. Now, if you saw it, as a Cowboy fan, I will say 3 of them weren't his fault. But as a Cowboy fan, I'm also going to say nobody afforded Dak that luxury last year when he had 5 INTs out of the 15 that went through the receiver/tight end's hands. That went to the guy behind him, interception. Okay, we weren't afforded that, so Brock Purdy ain't going to get afforded that. So any Niner gang, bang, bang, Niner gang, you watching this, you ain't getting a damn pass. Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions. That's it. You don't like it, Richard Sherman? Well, that's a fact. So, and you crap the bed against the Baltimore Ravens. They came in your house, as in the words of Philly 500, and shit on you. Okay? It was embarrassing. So, as much as I thought Richard Sherman was a good football player, I can't stand him as a analyst because he does nothing but crap on my quarterback and my team. And it's blatantly obvious that he's letting his ego / doing it for the ratings, whatever, I don't care. Shut up, Richard Sherman. That's just me. I don't know. That's how I feel. What's up, Coyote? Welcome to the show. What's up, buddy? Rhonda, NFL has a secret society. It's very oppressive. Rhonda, I don't know what's going on with the holding, but I do know this. They are telling Micah that he wouldn't have got there. Now, Rhonda, I ask you this. Who is a 65-year-old official, or whatever the hell he is, a lot of these guys, looking at Micah saying he's not going to get home? He gets home. He is so fast. He is unbelievable. He leads the NFL in pressures by a mile. Now, not sacks, because he's usually getting double teamed and chipped and held. But at this point, the more you talk about it, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. What I would do behind the scenes, I would be mailing the league the tape on Monday or Monday morning at the NFL office to say, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. Do it that way. Stay out of the press. It's not helping you anymore, Micah. It's not. Rob A., the more Micah complains about it, the less people get the calls. That's it. Dak can't get a pass rush. He's been playing for 8 years, no pass. Can't get it. Elena, all I'm saying is that there were 5 tip balls INTs. That's all. Yeah, Dak does have a couple playoff wins. He's 2-4. He's 2-4 in the playoffs. So, I just think that Dak gets too much. I think if you guys really were honest, the quarterback gets too much praise and too much crap, whether it goes right or wrong. Again, it's a team game. That doesn't sell. That's not exciting. Nobody wants to hear, well, it's a team game. Well, it is. You think Jalen Hurts forgot how to play football in a year? No. It's called his team is not playing as well as it did last year. But yet, Jalen Hurts is getting crapped on. Now, I'm not here to talk about Jalen Hurts, but that's a fact. Jalen Hurts is still a damn fine quarterback and will be. But he's not having a good year. Shit happens. Does that mean, well, he didn't have a good year? Troy Daniels, we can't have these old officials who can't see past their hand. Mike is being held on almost every play. It's obvious. Troy, I agree with you, but I think there's a better way of doing it. They're obviously not listening, because I think what's going on now is they're hearing this outside of football, and they're saying, okay, we're missing calls? Fine. I'll show you missed calls. And that's what's going on. They're basically telling Micah, you weren't going to get there anyway. Just like, I'm sorry, I think the game is over officiated. Do you guys want to see more penalties? or less penalties. Now, I guarantee you one thing. When the playoffs come, these officials are going to swallow their whistle like they should have done in the regular season, and it'll be a much better product. But, they're not doing it now. Too many games are decided by 40-yard pass interference penalties. Some are warranted. Listen, if my guy's beat and I'm the coach, I'm going to tell them, drag their ass down. Take the penalty. Do not give up a free touchdown. But all this ticky-tack BS is ridiculous. And then, in the same game, it'll be an end-of-the-half situation or the end-of-the-game situation where they throw the ball all the way downfield into the end zone and there's a mugging going on. And the receiver's getting pulled down or the tight end's getting pulled down and there's nothing being called. It's absolutely ridiculous. Is it me? I don't know. I don't like watching this crap anymore as far as all the penalties. I wish they would have eaten the penalty against Dak, the roughing, and you should not have called the roughing against Micah. Let both plays go. Dak in the end zone when he was hit. And the Micah, there's no way that was a penalty. It was borderline. Brian Broaddus even said he slowed down the tape, and it was literally tap, tap. If it's that close, you don't call it. You just don't call it. And Matt, thank you, and Coyote, refs need to be consistent. Too many games with bad calls, not just for Cowboys. Swallow the whistle a little bit. Let them play. Some officiating crews are better than others, and they let them play. And you know what? As long as you don't have a situation like happened with the New Orleans Saints a couple years ago, like a few years ago in the playoffs, where there was an egregious hit on the sideline that should have been called that basically cost them the game, that's where I want replay to get involved. There's a lot I would do to the game, but the main thing I would do to the game is less penalties. Less penalties. Rhonda says they are effing with Micah. It's moral propaganda to keep the Cowboys from winning, creating distractions. It's always been happening. Rhonda, we can believe that as Cowboys fans, but a lot of people, most people hate us, so they're just going to say that we're being we're butt sore a little bit, so it is what it is. I think we need to go back to the coach could challenge PI calls. Troy, I like that. Nobody's saying give them unlimited amount of calls. Nobody's saying that. But I think we should give more call. We should have more latitude with it. Just like Now, I have to do my research, but supposedly the overtime rules in the playoffs are different from the overtime rules in the regular season. That's mind-boggling to me. That's mind-boggling to me. Why would we do that? This game is becoming a Mickey Mouse officiated game. There needs to be drastic. Now, Jerry Jones is never going to say our game is in trouble. I get it. The ratings are through the roof. It's not going nowhere. But why can't we make it better? Instead of worried about playing games in Brazil, nothing against Brazil, but maybe let's take a little time and clean our act together up. You clean it up a little bit because it's bad when after most games one team is pissed and one team is happy regarding the officiating. Very little is it, they were just a better team. And Roger Goodell, Rhonda, don't like the man for many, many reasons that I'm not going to get into today. But that just goes to show you how greedy these owners are now. I'm not trying to be negative today. We're excited. The playoffs are upon us. We got 2 weeks left to go. We have a game this Saturday night. I will be streaming it. I don't know who's going to be streaming it with me. I don't know. Maybe Primetime, maybe Mark. We'll see. But we're going to be streaming the game Saturday night. We're going to be streaming the Eagle game on Sunday. Very, very fun times knowing we're already in. Worst case, we're going to be number 5, which isn't bad. It is what it is. Best case, we're going to win division and probably be number 2. But is what it is. Thank you, Rhonda. I really appreciate it. You really are sweet. I mean, it's just reinforces that I'm not wasting my time and people actually like what I'm doing. So thank you. I appreciate it, Rhonda. Lady Libra, they are, Brian. I think they are. I think it's like Ruben Wall says, all the penalties is on Roger Goodell. He can't stand Jerry Jones. I don't know if it's that pinpointed towards Jerry, but we know all well Jerry wanted his ass gone. So I would be the same way. Now, you saw, this goes back to the Zeke penalty when Zeke had to miss and he had to fight just to miss like 6 or 7 games when it was an off the field thing that he was cleared from, who he still got suspended for, and yet now we got people serving no time for far egregious stuff because they haven't been prosecuted in the court of law. Absolutely ridiculous. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Elena Walker, overtime rules are what you see now. Expect you can have you can't have a tie. I thought there was something else, Elena, but I'll take your word for it. I do have to look that up. We obviously, before the playoffs, me and Mark were talking about, and probably prime time, or like I'm sure I'll do it with Mark and then probably again with prime time. We're gonna do a playoff preview and do all that. That'll be fun. Really break it down, all the rules and the matchups. That would be really cool. You're killing games, John. Keep it up. Oh, thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. Make sure you stop by tonight because we're gonna have 3 hours of I don't know what kind of game we're gonna get, but it'll be good. I clean up the game first. I don't care about overseas games. Yeah, Matt, that's my thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's all about the almighty dollar. It's all about the almighty dollar. How much can we make and bleed from the fans? Well, we pretty much bled us. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't buy as much merch this. I say that, but my son got me this. He had a special order, okay? I got another Dallas hat that one of my kids got me. So think about that. You know what I mean? I'm sure there was a lot of merch. I know there's a lot of my friends got a lot of Eagle stuff for Christmas with Kelly Green. They are killing it. And that's all well and good. I mean, it is. I love the game. I love the NFL. It's sad. Mark was saying, he always likes to send me texts, and I feel guilty because yesterday I didn't do anything. But I'm not going to come on here and just talk about nothing and waste your time. I mean, we can, but I wasn't feeling it yesterday. I was feeling kind of depressed yesterday. So today I'm good, and we're going to roll into the game tonight. It's all about the money, says Matt. Yeah, I agree, man. But yeah, real quick, what about Joe friggin' Flacco? Now, we're going to see Joe Flacco tonight, right? That's the game? I don't even know. I set up the live stream. Who's playing tonight? I want to say it's Cleveland. Yeah, the Jets at the Browns. So yeah, I'm gonna need everybody here to talk because me and Mark, I'm sure we'll be talking a lot of Cowboys. So yeah, I am feeling better, Rhonda. If I'm at work, it's a little easier. It's funny, the person who's doing my route at work, he sent me a picture of how many packages. He had 40 total scans. Now, I was up to 200 and some scans. That's like small packages, anything from a small package that could fit in my mailbag to big packages to 40 total. So that's how much it drops off. So right now, other than the weather, it's easy peasy. It works. I'll have my time to do my lunchtime chats, which I really do enjoy doing. I think that's what has kind of grown the channel, just doing it at the same time every day. So, but yeah, Myles Garrett, Amari Cooper. Yeah, that's the good thing. We get to see Amari smoke the Jets tonight. Now, Mark says it's time to let Amari go. I have a hard time doing that, man. I'm sorry. I have a hard time letting my ownership off the hook for that. Amari should have never left. Amari loved being a Cowboy. Maury also had his own views. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having your own opinion. If everybody had the same opinion in this world, it would be friggin' boring, if you ask me. I think difference of opinion is what makes everybody better. The problem is, and not to get political, but the problem is our political system is you got the one side against the other side, and most of us are in the middle. And you're labeled one side or another. And I got news for you. This side don't speak for me, and this side don't speak for me. You got to come together. That's the issue. What's up, Angelica? How are you today? How is it in Florida? I didn't talk to Phil yet. I know he's on the other side of the state, but matter of fact, I'm going to reach out to him soon. Amari was a beast for the Cowboys. Logan, what Amari was an unbelievable route runner. When everything breaks down, Amari's going to run his route, whether he's getting the ball or not, and you could trust that he's going to be where he was supposed to be. So when Mark says we got to let Amari go, I love CD, but CD and Amari will be way better than CD and Brandon Cooks. And I love Brandon Cooks, but it hasn't happened like I would want it to have happened. Yeah, Rhonda, everything is political. The toilet paper is political. Yeah, it's ridiculous, Rhonda. Don't got time for it anymore. I'm going to be down to 32 degrees. Wow. I bet you're loving it, though. You actually wear a hoodie. The Cooper trade was wrong, agreed. Yeah, Matt, you only got a 4th-round pick for him. He's killing it. You see what happens when you get a good quarterback. Joe Flacco was killing it. Now, he even came out and said, this is it. This is probably his last year. So, it's now or never. But I think that, Cleveland, the way they're playing, the way that defense and how unbelievable that defense is, I think they could actually do something this year. That's what's kind of exciting about this year. I think they match up good against Baltimore. With that defense as dynamic as it is. Yeah. Any chance that Amari comes back to Dallas? I never say never, and I only say that, Troy, because I really thought that Jimmy Johnson would never get into the Ring of Honor. As a matter of fact, that brings up a story. I saw Dave Campo on an interview, and he said that he was at a party at the Jimmy Johnson Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. There was a Dallas party at the Hall of Fame, and Jerry was there. They were all together, and Jerry and him were talking, and Jerry, like Jerry does, says, well, Jimmy, I'm going to make sure you're in the Ring of Honor too, And Jimmy's exact quote was, while I'm alive, Jerry. That's what Jimmy said, per Dave Campo. And we all thought that it would be posthumously, because I was shocked when they came out and said it, because we just heard in the offseason Jerry didn't allude to nothing. He was a normal, smug self. And, I was happily surprised. Very, very happy for Jimmy Johnson. I've been watching a lot of the games lately. It's funny. I've been watching some games from the 92 season and the 93 season. If you get time, just watch some of the games. It was just awesome seeing that offensive line. And it's like scary, because then you look at our offensive line now, as good as it can be, it's nowhere near what that line was. It's crazy. Better you than me, Brad. And the Jets didn't sign him when Aaron went down. Yeah, exactly, Rob A. They didn't want no part of Joe Flacco. Troy Daniels, me too. I thought he would never get there. Jimmy was well-deserved this honor. Yeah, and Dave Campo basically said that he believes Jimmy Johnson was a 5-year coach. 5 years in Miami, 5 years at Dallas. I think he was at 5 years with the Dolphins. He can't be at any one point too long. It's almost like a guy being with one girl or vice versa, a girl being with the same guy, and they start fights just to break up because they need to move on. That's kind of what it was. Jerry Jones's ego ate him up. Jimmy Johnson was burnout. Yeah, he was basically slept in the facility. Jimmy Johnson was fired up. Isn't Tom Landry the only head coach in the ring? I am certain he is, and it happened posthumously. It did happen posthumously under bad circumstances, but I'm very, very glad that Jimmy gets to hear the roar of the crowd. I just hope that our team is doing well. So at halftime when they do it, that place is going to go nuts. Jerry slips up and does the right thing every once in a while. Yeah, right, David Cowboy? What's up? What's up, my man? Brad says, Jerry just mad because he knows he messed up big time when he fired Jimmy. I don't know, because Dave Campo went in, in this interview, he said that Jimmy Johnson was with his coaches, and he basically said, I think we're going to be back, but I got to go meet with Jerry. He went and met with Jerry. Then he went back in the room and said, I'm done, but I think you guys, your job is safe. So whatever was said, my guess is it's probably something to do with personnel and Jerry not wanting to back down from maybe something. Now, Jerry was big on, I won the Super Bowl, or I did this, or, he was always like, and he's the owner of the team. So it's hard for me to say he shouldn't take the high road and give credit to his coach, but he didn't. So and I know Angelica loves, I can imagine she loves Jimmy Johnson. I would imagine. I know she's a Florida State fan, but come on, hometown boy, it's just and that. How about them Cowboys will live forever?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
That just gives me goosebumps, because that was at a time when the Cowboys were absolutely money and clutch. And Brad, I am going to bring the Dak Prescott back over. But, Troy Aikman, I don't care about stats. I don't care about anything other than the hardware, the ring. And he was money. When I heard the story about Troy Aikman, that he was throwing up before the Super Bowl, and he was nervous as heck, couldn't even throw a football hardly in pregame, went back into the locker room, came back out, and you would have never have known that he was that nervous. All he did in 92 and 93 was carve up the Buffalo Bills. Just a money quarterback. And, Troy, there's only one Troy, man. The strong arm of the law. So, but anyway, let's see what else we got here. The Cowboys were great in the 90s. Love them boys. Matt. Yeah, and I've said this, this story multiple times, but I was born in the early 70s. I didn't remember our two wins. As Troy Daniels says, we lost not back-to-back, but I remember, I think it was 76 and 78 or 77 and 79, one of those where we lost 2 out of 3 years. We lost back-to-back Super Bowls to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was my first experience, was us losing in a Super Bowl. And then we literally went my whole adolescent life winning nada. And then it took, Danny White getting killed. I thought Danny White really was an awesome quarterback. He just didn't have a big surrounding cast for very long. And then it took early 90s. Angelica, I don't know if I ain't going to be crying, but I'm going to be happy for him, because that man laid everything out there to coach the Cowboys. It wasn't what you see nowadays. He lived. He was 24/7. Dave Campo was saying there was a game in 92. No, this is before they won the Super Bowl. And they were playing, who the hell were they playing? They were playing the Giants. And the Giants were, with Phil Simms, were unbelievable. Dallas hadn't gotten to their Super Bowl yet. I think this was their 1-15 year when they were getting rolled, when Troy got hurt and Steve Walsh won the one game. And Dave Campo was so mad. He was out at the hash mark arguing with the official. And then he called him back, and he said, if you do that again, I'm going to fire you on the spot. Jimmy Johnson didn't mince words. He treated his players that way. He treated his longtime friends and coaches that way. He was about one thing and one thing only, was winning. And the Eagles hated him at the time. You know, Buddy Ryan, they were always going back and forth. And look, here's my dog. Where's she at? Oh, wait. Hey, there she is. You see her? Daisy. She's back there. She misses her mother. But, yeah, it's, bottom line is I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be excited on Saturday night. So we will be live streaming. Matt Batten says, Lions versus Cowboys game on ESPN. Guys, it's on TV. Oh, it's on TV. It's the only game in town that night. That is why Jerry didn't want Jimmy. Yeah, Rob A. They're probably right. Clemente, what's up, my man? You're coming in at the tail end. Sweet Puffy, give him a kiss. Oh, yeah, she loves being covered under the blankets. It's not a puppy, though, believe it or not. She's a sweetie, though. Michael Aldan, for me, every Dallas Cowboys team has failed to live up to expectations since the 90s Super Bowl dynasty. Well, it's a tough thing to live up to, but we had our chance back when the Giants won it as a wild card. That was our big year. I hope they all will show the ceremony. I think they should. Although they better. Yeah, Matt, I have two others. This was a last. We really weren't in the market for a dog, but this dog kind of picked my wife. I told the story before. My wife was working in a long-term rehab facility, and they would bring in dogs, therapy dogs, and this was a therapy puppy, and she followed my wife around the whole place. Like, they became so close. My wife would go into her office. The dog would follow her. She was already named. So we had to go through the process. We brought her home, and I was a little sketchy. I'm like, I don't know if we want a third dog. But we ended up adopting it. So I have to say, I really feel our Cowboys have been doing great. Our best circumstances happen, injuries, etc. We are good. We just need to be great and keep the great guns on our team at all costs. Rhonda, I would say that we have just as good a chance as most. Not everybody. Obviously, the Niners are like a notch above, but they're not unbeatable, as you just saw against the Baltimore Ravens, who people wrote off not too long ago. So with the personnel that they have right now. So a few weeks ago, everybody was saying Baltimore stinks. All right, well, okay, we got B Fatty. Everybody, they keep an eye on B Fatty. There's no Jimmy Johnson without Jerry Jones, or vice versa. These guys made us number one from the bottom. Yeah, and I'm not trying to crap on Jerry Jones. I'm not. I love Jerry Jones. But he has his flaws, as an individual, which is fine. I'm not, but, Jimmy was more, Jimmy rolled the dice and got lucky. He is a old oil catter, He wants a glory hole, and he got it with the Cowboys. But he was also like the party, and there's a lot of stories about Jimmy Johnson. So, Jerry Jones. Jimmy was all about football, Jimmy liked to fish and win football. Not coach football, win. And he was a winner. So that's the difference between Jerry. Jerry was about making money and win if he can. Now he made his money. He's won. And it's, well, I'd like to win again, but it's going to be my way. I'm going to win it the way we want to win it, with a structure so we don't drop off and not stay relevant. We want to be there every year and have a shot every year. We don't want to go all in for 1 year and then maybe have to take a step back. Well, the Eagles did it. They won a Super Bowl. They ended up switching quarterbacks, and they got back there again. Now, they lost it, but they got back there again. The St. Louis Rams, or L.A. Rams, whatever. You know what I mean. The Rams went all in, went to cap hell and back to win a Super Bowl. Now, they're already back, and as of right now, they're back in the playoffs, and they are playing unbelievably. But yet, our team wants to win games every year and give us a chance every year so we can get those sales up. So, that's what it's about. I want them to go all in, empty the clip, and go in and win a damn championship. If that means that we're going to get a high draft pick for a couple years, I could deal with that. What I can't deal with is getting to the playoffs with a team that's borderline or thin, because we only suffer a couple injuries, but that's going to be an excuse why we don't go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's the thing. Matt Bratton, there's a lot of competition out there, sweetheart. AI is taking over. Yeah, AI is taking over, Rhonda. Dak overpaid, below average QB. Yeah, you're wrong, beef fatty. You tread lightly. That's wrong. That's overpaying bums for years. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Dak's not a bum. I would say learn the game. So when we start calling names, then I have an issue, a beef fatty. You could say, he hasn't performed in the playoffs, even though it's a team game. Whatever. Ravens versus Eagles in the Super Bowl. Logan, yeah, you wish. Man, if Jimmy Johnson came back as an advisor, wow, Super Bowl for sure. Yeah, Clemente, man, that would be, an advisor is the perfect role for him. But here's the problem. Here's the problem, Clemente. Jerry doesn't want to hear what Jimmy has to say. Because, what up, Twiz? Because what Jimmy has to say, he ain't going to want to do. He doesn't want to get rid of people. He wants to take the easy way out and just have enough talent to keep getting there. He doesn't. Rob A works in cybersecurity. Yeah, yo. I work for the post office. I've done a lot of managing over the years, and we always have to do the cyber safe training. It's everywhere. Logan Motorscore. Logan, listen. Good luck. It's a team game, B Fatty. Dak doesn't play defense. You know what I'm saying? If Dak has a bad game, we're gonna call him out on it. You damn right we are. But Twiz, what's up, man? Did you feed the animals or what? Jerry gets more and more stubborn, but I like some of his decisions. Does have a heart, deep. He has a heart, and I like Jerry. I'm not saying I don't. I'm not trying to say that I don't like Jerry. It's just he's the reason why that we haven't gotten there, though. I blame Dak all the time, bro, but below average, yeah, David Cowboy, exactly. Nobody's saying Dak is the best quarterback in the league. He's one of the elite quarterbacks, though. You could rank him anywhere you want. I put him top 5. I would go top 5, but he's definitely between 5 and 10. Do you think Brock Purdy is all that? What makes Brock Purdy all that is his offensive line and his weapons and his defense. It's a team game. That's what it is. Did we get Evans back or no? Clemente, I don't know. I don't want him back. He was not good, man. But I will agree, it does leave us real short. That's for sure. I like Jerry Jones. He's great. He's made bad choices in the past. Rob A. Ronda, he has too much heart and signs players to bad deals once they are past their prime. Rob A., what I don't like is he likes to get deals. And nothing against Michael Gallup, but his contract is why people don't like him. People love Michael Gallup as a person, and he makes the circus catch. And Michael Gallup has saved our bacon more than once in a game to win a game, but he's not consistent enough to get that kind of money. My opinion. That's it. David Cowboy, game time. Did you hear Mozzie's actual weight? Yeah, at the beginning of the show, I broke that all down. That's scary, David Cowboy. He's lost 40 pounds since he was drafted. Not good. Zeke and Gallup are perfect examples. Yeah, I agree, Rob. Nike 3, Lions game going to be interesting. They have a great running game. Yeah, and they run inside, Nike 3. They run inside. Whereas Miami would hit the edges more, which is a little better for our defense and our speed. What we have a problem with is when somebody runs right at us. Jalen Hurts is 4th on my list. I like Jalen. I don't have a problem with Jalen Hurts. I think he's good. Coyote, I heard from Brian Broaddus. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was quoting. I always quote Brian. Some people say I believe everything. No, I don't believe everything Brian says. Brian gets emotional. Brian gets a little scared. But he's right. Yes, Danny White was great. Yeah, Lady Lieber, I love Danny White. He got beat up, man. I haven't seen a quarterback get beat up. He reminded me of Ron Jaworski a lot. Ron Jaworski always got killed. But Danny White got beat up after we lost that, our offensive line from the early days before we got our offensive line in the 90s. Danny White was clutch. Let's see. Lions game will be a tough game. Matt, I think it will be a tough game. I think it will be, but I'm not going to pick against the Cowboys tonight or on Saturday. The Eagles treat players like trash blowing in and out of revolving doors. Rhonda, what I would say about that is a lot of people are trashing Jalen Hurts. Now, why? I would have no idea. You can't get rid of him. His contract really hasn't even kicked in yet. That's the thing. The contract has not kicked in yet. You're not going anywhere. I got news for you. Once Jason Kelce retires, which might be after this year, and Lane Johnson leaves probably by the end of next year, good luck. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. It's a team game. Troy Daniels, I met Danny White after a Utah Blaze game. He's a great person. He even signed a football card ahead of his. That's awesome, Troy. Really is. Very, very cool. Man. So, Twiz, were you feeding the animals or what? How is everything going? Need to get a pressure off of golf and make mistakes. Yeah, on golf. Yeah, it's funny, Twiz. I'm in the fantasy championship this week, and one of the guys in our league is Mike Golf. That's Jared Goff's uncle. Did not make the playoffs, by the way. Surprise, surprise. You took Jared Goff in the first round. I'm like, dude, you can't take Jared. I understand he's your nephew, but you can't take him in the first round. He's my nephew. And he actually did well. He got off to like a 7-0 start, and I don't think he's won a game since. But, hey, Jared Goff beat us in the playoff game. Remember that with the Rams? Jared Goff beat us in the playoff game, and then they ended up losing in the Super Bowl. But he got to a Super Bowl. So, did he lose in the Super Bowl? Yeah, I think he lost the Super Bowl, right? Because that's why they got rid of him and then went and got Stafford, who went and won the Super Bowl. So, all right, we'll go another 7 minutes. I'm making an even 90-minute stream. So, what else we got here? Rob A. Jurgens will slide to center and Steen will take over right guard. Yeah. There's always going to be somebody, but Rob, he ain't going to be Jason Kelce. That's all I'm trying to say. As much as I don't like the Eagles, Jason Kelce is the man. He's very good. Now, Jason Kelce was our Travis Frederick. It's a shame that Travis Frederick ended up getting that autoimmune disorder, because Travis Frederick was the one going to the Pro Bowl every year, and Jason Kelce was getting snubbed because of Travis Kelce. Jason Kelce was getting snubbed because of Travis Frederick. So we miss Travis Frederick. I don't believe that a Tyler Biotish is that guy. I think this is the last year for Tyler Biotish. I think we're going to have a new, I think we're going to have a new center next year. I really do. It may be Brock Hoffman, who's a bigger, a stronger guy that's already on our team now, or we'll draft somebody. But that just goes to show you, man. We thought that line was great, but we with him, and now you see Zach Martin. I love Zach Martin. He's dropped off a little bit. He's still great. He's still one of the best right guards in the league, but he has dropped off a little bit. So, you can't keep him forever. That's the sad part. And yeah, he's not the Coyote. He's not strong enough. If he gets a little bit off balance, he gets manhandled. Spare none. What's going on? Welcome. You come in at the end of the show, man. Make sure you go back and watch it. We had some good points early on. Chris May, Frederick made all the line calls. I hear you on that. Yeah, listen, he was a guy that we all said, "Oh my God, you drafted him at the end of the first round. You reached." I wish we had Travis Frederick now. That's for sure. I like Tyler Biotish, Matt. He's just not that guy. Let's get an O-line that Emmett used to. Yeah, that would be great. I want to see what Well Let's Go can show. Yeah, he just got to stay healthy, Troy. He just got to stay healthy. Zach is great, but long in the tooth. Rob A., what needs to happen if we suffer injuries? Zach's going to have to play right tackle. If Terrence Steele keeps playing the way if Terrence Steele gets hurt, then we got to put Bass at right guard. He's going to have to go out to right tackle. He don't want to do it, but he going to have to do it. So, Travis Frederick knew how to command our O-line, make the right reads, and be able to pinpoint flaws in the defense. That's what you need, man. You need to be able to make the line calls. I think Tyler Biotish has really come a long way. I just think he's got to be perfect or he gets exposed. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. He is suspect, but he wasn't. He's been suspect this year because he's coming off of that ACL, which he's playing, but I don't know that he's 100%. Yeah, we're going to be leaving. Thank you, Rhonda Lovely. 90 minutes. I'm going to cut out in a couple minutes, but we'll get to a few more. Just don't forget, tonight, 8 o'clock, we will be streaming during the Jets at Cleveland game, talking about everything Cowboys, Eagles, the NFL Week 17. So, Brad Harris says, Twiz, your team is going nowhere. Your defense sucks. I hate the E-turds. Got to get that shot in. I love it.
100%.
That's funny. Shots fired. Thanks, Matt Batten. I really do appreciate that. 8 o'clock tonight, Rhonda. You got it. So, all right, everybody. Logan, hopefully I'll see you later, buddy. Clemente, our O-lineman, guys we lost, are playing with the Fish and the Bills. Yeah, right. Thanks, Rob A. Elena, I'll see you later. A Coyote. I'm going to get out of here, people. And on that note, I just got one more thing to tell you guys.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Later. Peace out.